Hello everybody and welcome to AKA Science. This is class 1 of our forensics kit, The Case of the Missing French Fries. Class 1 includes some get-to-know-each-other activities that will help foster a sense of community. Normally right now I'll describe the prep steps for each class before diving into the vocabulary terms, but this class and a few others in this kit are pretty prep heavy, so I'm just going to include the steps along with their corresponding activities. Our class 1 vocabulary terms are alibi, a claim or piece of evidence that demonstrates a suspect was not present at the scene of a crime. Detective, a person who investigates crimes. Evidence, all available information that indicates whether or not something is factual. Forensic, relating to the investigation of a crime. Investigate, perform a formal inquiry or examination of the facts to gather evidence. Property, a trait of a substance or object, something that can be seen, heard, smelled, etc. Sample, a small amount of a bigger thing that can be used for testing. Suspect, a person under investigation for a crime or offense. With that out of the way, let's go ahead and set the tone. First thing you're going to want to do is a thumb check. This helps gauge how everyone's feeling. Thumbs up for good or happy, and thumbs down for, bad or hungry or whatever. Following that, take a few minutes to get to know each other by playing a name game. For a comprehensive list of name games and icebreakers, check out our website, akascience.org. And lastly, we're going to spend some time establishing some class agreements. It's important to set some basic rules for your students to follow, and it's equally important to have students contribute some rules of their own so that they are more inclined to take them seriously. For the class agreements, go ahead and grab the markers, crayons, and the big piece of butcher paper from the kit box. Have your students discuss among themselves a handful of rules that they can get behind, and whoever has the best handwriting, give that person a marker and have them start recording the rules that everyone has agreed on. Distribute the crayons and have all your students sign the agreement. This way, if things start getting rowdy or out of hand, you can whip out the paper and remind them that everyone agreed with a signature to behave themselves. And now, it's time to crack your first case. The crime! One of these bird mascots stole some French fries from us, and we're going to find out who done it. But first, as mentioned before, let's do some prep. Begin by adding water to your empty vial and pop in the color tablet. After it dissolves, evenly distribute the liquid into the plastic 2-ounce cups. Next, fill the 9-ounce cups about halfway up with water. For this activity, we have 3 samples to test for different properties. A litmus test, pH, density, and solubility. Let's start with that litmus test. Begin by opening the vial labeled P and distribute the pipettes. Fill the vial about 2/3 the way with water so the content dissolves. Now distribute 1 red and 1 blue strip of litmus paper to each student and have them dip the test strips into the solution. If the paper turns or stays blue, our solution is basic, and therefore baking soda. If it turns or stays red, it's acidic, and therefore vinegar. With our blue results, we can confidently cross the vinegar off the list. Next up, we'll test for density. Open up the vial labeled D and pipette a few drops of the prepared blue liquid onto the sample in the vial. If it dissolves into the sample immediately, the sample is water. But if it stays sitting on top, which it appears that it does, we know our sample is corn syrup. So let's go ahead and cross water off the list. Our final sample is a test of solubility. Open the vial labeled S and fill it about 2/3 of the way up with water. If the sample dissolves, we know it's powdered sugar, but if it clumps up, it's cornstarch. Lo and behold, our dissolved sample means we can cross cornstarch off the list too. For the last line on our evidence sheet, we need to turn our attention to the other 2 worksheets for this class. Right out of the gate, we can tell that these bird tracks are not webbed, so we can eliminate the California gull as a suspect. Looking a little closer, we can see that there are 3 toes up front and 1 toe sticking out the back. So we know our culprit is anisodactyl, 3 forward, 1 back, and not zygodactyl, 2 forward, 2 back, like the Kia bird here, so it's also off the hook. So here's our evidence as it stands, converging on either the Australian magpie or the American crow. To get our final piece of evidence, let's turn to our single most important activity of this entire kit, On the Scent with Steve. Why so important, you ask? Because the titular Steve in this story is my beloved 17-and-a-half-year-old Blue Heeler lab mix named, you guessed it, Steve, whom you can see from these pictures is the most handsome, beautiful, wonderful thing on the planet. Our prep steps for this activity are simple, but it takes a little while. Begin by separating the 1-ounce cups and lids and making sure you have at least 13 cotton balls. Each of our 3 scents, lemon, vanilla butternut, and peppermint, needs to be poured on its own group of 4 cotton balls, and remember to keep them grouped by scent. With the last cotton ball, add a drop of peppermint and put it inside the bag labeled Sample. Have your students smell all the control samples, and then have them attempt to identify where the evidence sample came from, with peppermint being only associated with Park Rose pancakes. With that final piece of evidence in place, we can confidently say that our French fry thief was in fact the American Crow of Park Rose pancakes. So with our arrest warrant issued, we can clean up, debrief from the class session, and case closed. Thank you so much for joining me. If you have any more questions, check out akascience.org, and I'll see you in class 2.